Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am taking part in ABC April 2026 again, which has been hosted by Seven Plaza and crafted by Tony. Today is the letter W, so I am doing the Wicked Journal. This is quite a long tutorial, it's about an hour long. I've sped up quite a lot of pieces, otherwise it would have been about 4 hours long. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know in the comments if there's any extra bits that you would like to see in a bit more detail. I'm not going to make any ephemera in this video. Again, it's already really long just making the main book. I will do some other videos where I show you how to make some of the ephemera pieces, notebooks, hidden paper clips, things like that. So that's it from me just now. I will see you at the end of the video. It's about an hour long. So obviously the shape is a little bit different from normal. I have measurements here that you can hopefully see. So we're going to be cutting, this piece is 15 centimetres across the middle, 20 centimetres high, and the bottom piece is 10. We'll do the pages later, they're obviously slightly smaller. You can use thick chipboard if you like, or if you want you can just use an old cereal packet, which is what I'm going to do. So these are obviously all the ones that I've made, just so you don't have to see me cutting them all out. You will need, if you're doing this spine, the journal that opens up, 8 of these pieces, and you'll need 4 spine pieces. The spine is 4 centimetres by 20. I'm sure most of you will know how to do this, but first of all we need to create one straight edge. Okay, so this bit is now nice and straight, so we're going to make this a nice right angle. Okay, so the height we need is 20 centimetres. If you want to do it in inches, you could round up to 8 or down to 7.5 to make it a little bit easier. And we need 15 across. Again, you can round up to 6 or be 5 3/4. So once you have your rectangle pieces cut out, you need to cut off the edges. So first of all, get my pencil. We need to measure halfway down, which is obviously 10 centimetres. Just mark that there. And then, like I say, these straight edges across the top are 10. And doing it this way, you want to mark up 5. Just make sure that they line up. Yep. Now we're going to draw lines like this. And now just cut these triangles off. The way to make all of them, there are several different ways. You can measure each piece separately, or you can use this one as a template. Draw it like this. If you're doing it this way, you'll need to cut inside this line. Check, and hopefully they will match up. Hopefully they'll match up with the ones I made earlier. Near enough. Another way that you can do it is to go in with a metal ruler. A scrap piece. Go in with a metal ruler and a sharp craft knife. You can cut down that way. There are various different ways, just decide for yourself. Today we're going to be covering the covers for the Wicked journal. So you should have 8 of these. I'll talk a little bit later about doing the hinge, but depending on the type of hinge you might only need to do 4, but I would use thicker cardboard if you're only using the 4. Let's start by doing this. fold the edges over. And we can trim off the excess. You want to be leaving a tiny little piece just there so that it actually folds over the corners. We're just going to fold that little piece in. When you're doing the spine pieces, you need to need a larger strip along each of the long edges. That's going to be the piece that will attach to the front and the back covers. Okay, this time we're only going to glue down the top and the bottom pieces. Okay, we are not going to put on, this is the other side that I made. We're not going to put these pieces on just yet because before we do that we need to add in a closure. If we're adding a closure, we also need to add, this will be the spine piece once it's been sewn with the signatures, and then this piece will come in over the top, making sure it's nice and firmly held in place. Also, as I said with the hinging the notebook, because this is inspired by the book from the Wicked film, which folds over like so. So we need a hinge on this piece. You can just use a tab of paper. I've got one of these pieces. So you could I would probably use 2 of these, 1 of each colour. Put them together, and that piece would go there, and then you'd seal it in here. The same thing, and then that would bend over. The other way you can do it is you can get one of these metal hinges. I did actually get these for this project, so I think I'm going to try and use that. In this case it's going to be attached to the outside, so we don't need to worry about the extra piece. So if you're using this, you don't necessarily need to have the extra pieces on the inside, but use thicker cardstock if you're doing that, or use chipboard. Also, you might be able to get die cuts. These are die cuts, and this would work in a similar way. They would attach onto there, that piece would attach onto there. My desk is very big, going that way, so they would attach together, and then you fold over. I'm not sure how strong that would be, just looking at these pieces, that you've just got those tiny little strips. You could do that and then maybe add in something to reinforce it underneath, but I think I'm going to go in with this method, but we won't be doing that just at the moment. We'll do that. I'm going to show you how to cut signature pages to go into the Wicked journal. So in my shop I will have soon these pages that you can print out and use as templates. They are slightly smaller, but you can make your own template, just cut a piece slightly smaller. I would make it 19 and then 9 across the bottom and 14.5 to the point is what these ones are. I made this template. So there are a couple of different ways you can do it. If you are wanting to use larger pages and create pockets that will fold up, you can do it quite simply just by cutting them, and then you can just glue along the edge. If you want to have a tab, it's a little bit more complicated. I've just spent about an hour trying to work out how I did it before. The way I'm going to show you is just by cutting it straight. Because of the shape of the pages, you can't really get an awful lot into this section of the pockets anyway, so not having that tab doesn't really make too much of a difference. I'm going to have in this signature 2 larger pages to create pockets. I'm going to have 2 of my printed pages, and then just some different tea dyed, food colouring dyed, and this is just a piece of cream paper that I have. Okay, so this is my template. First of all, we will fold the pockets. So I've already had a bit of an experiment with these ones. I fold these ones to the inside, like so. You need to make sure that these bottom pieces are lined up. I'm using this because it came out of an old sort of wildlife book that one of my kids had, and in the back it had these pages on bird watching that were already tinted green, which I thought was just perfect to go into this journal. I'm going to do this slightly differently, just so that I can get all of these. So all of these pages that I don't need to trim the bottom of, I'm going to take out for now. And then this one's I'm just going to cut along the edge at the bottom. Okay, so now I know that that is nice and straight. I can go back in these. Okay, that's our template in place. Okay, if you do want to add the tabs, I would cut these separately. You'll need to cut this little bit here, but the larger piece can be cut to the same size, but it just gets really complicated, especially when you're trying to add the signatures in, because if you've done this quite a few times, you can see this one starts back here, whereas the one on the inside starts there. So the actual size of all your signatures is slightly different. And it gets really complicated when you're trying to take them out and put them back in. Possible, but just more complicated. Keep those pieces. I can use them for decorations later. Okay, so now we have our pockets, and we would just put a thin bead of glue like so to hold it in place. You can obviously go in and sew the edges if you're going to sew. I do now have a sewing machine, so before I sew these into the spine, I will be decorating some and sewing some. Okay, so today we are going to bind the signatures into our spines. First of all, I will quickly show you what I've done to decorate the signatures. Obviously you can do whatever you feel like, I got a sewing machine for Christmas, so I've been experimenting. Still not very good at doing it straight, but so here we have a little pocket which I've just sewn down the side, a little bit of stenciling. I inked around the edges of all of them as well. I haven't done too much on the pages. I wanted to kind of leave a lot of things blank for whoever has the journal to do things in. So another little pocket just lined with some washi tape. These lines are actually from when I dried the paper on top of some lined paper. It's quite a nice effect. Okay, I've got some more sewing here, me sewing on lace to make the edge a bit prettier. And that will be all that one. So like I said, I haven't done too much. I'm trying to leave them quite plain. I may go in and add some belly bands for some of the ephemera that I've made. This is the second signature. Again, some more sewing. This one is the pattern papers I designed. Another little pocket just with a little bit of stenciling on the edge. This is some of this, I don't know exactly what it's called. I think I've heard it called deco web. Which is really hard to actually affix to anything, so I thought I'll try sewing it. It seems to have worked, except I'm a bit squint on that edge, but I am getting there. Another pocket, this one's just glued down. Just a little bit of washi tape along the bottom. I think, again, just some stenciling, some sewing. That's that one. This is the third one for the pink side, a little bit of stenciling there. Is that the first page? Ah, there we go. Just a little paper flower on this pocket. What have I done? Really bad sewing here. A little bit of washi tape just to add a bit of decoration. I might do something with this bit. When I cut it, I ripped the edge, but we shall see. Okay, so that's the 3 pink signatures. And most are just the same. This is a little bit of kind of paper ribbon that I had, and I've had it for years and years. I had to glue it down because it didn't stick anymore. But I thought it was quite a nice kind of look for this. Sewing down the pocket again. Another one with some washi tape and some sewing on the pocket. Another pocket sewed down. This was just me going around the edge of that page. Ooh, did do something fancy there. Okay, I put a belly band in here already. We'll put in some more. This is just a little tuck spot with a piece of kind of crocheted lace. Pocket, stencil it. That's going to be deco web again, just sewn in place. Another bit of lace. Some stenciling, a horizontal belly band. I was very proud of my ruffle. And I think that's just more the same. Another little paper flower. So yeah, I haven't done too much to the pages. I want to keep them fairly blank. I don't know who'll be getting this album, this journal. But we will bind those in. We'll start with the pink one. You know, I have this one here. Okay, so I've made myself a template here with just the 3 holes. Originally I did 4 on the first one I did, but it was quite bulky, so I've taken it down to just 3. So this fits exactly onto my spine, and it's quite handy because it's got the little grids on already. I don't have to actually do too much measuring. So these are the centre ones, and if I do make sure that these are big enough, I'm going to do them 3 from the top, 3 from the bottom. make sure that everything's held in place. Okay, get my I'm going to punch holes through this one. I'm going to go from the front. If you punch from the back, you'll end up with kind of little, I'll show you when I've done the other way, but it's better that you have the little dents. Grab some clips ready for this bit. Put that on. Make sure it's lining up. Okay, so we're going to punch a hole through, and if you can see, you get a very, very slight little dent. It doesn't particularly matter, you probably won't see it too much, but I just prefer that to be hidden away. This whole back part's going to be hidden away, so you won't actually see any of the knots when we bind the signature. Okay, so that's our holes on there done. Away for the next one. I'm going to find the middle of this. I'm just going to clip them so that they don't move. Make sure that they're all in line and nice and straight. Okay, so this time I'm going to fold this in half. Actually, just remembering, I do remember that's the top because it's got the extra one there, just in case there's a slight difference. Okay. Fold that in half. Now, obviously with this one, it's not exactly, this is slightly longer because it's the same length as my actual spine, but if I line it up so it's measured relatively evenly, which is about 1 square on here, I'm going to get my extra awl just so I can hold one in place. So we're going to go through the hole like so, and through the bottom hole. I'm going to leave that one in, and through the top. Okay, I should have had my thread. I'm just using, this is a cotton thread, but it's an extra strong thread. edge. You could of course use wax thread or embroidery thread. I quite like this. It's not waxed for various reasons. I won't use wax thread myself, but this is nice and strong and it's quite sort of silky, so it has the same sort of effect of the wax thread. I'm going to move that. We don't want to sew that in. Okay, so I'm going to come in with this. Okay, make sure they're the right way round. This is going to be the one that I'm doing at the back. So I'm going to come in through here. Normally doing the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, you would be starting from the middle and going through, but this is going to have this pretty hidden, so I'm going to tie all my knots along there. So I'm just going to go through the back instead. Okay, through the top hole, and then through this one. And we're going to go through the bottom hole. One thing I found doing it this way with having the extra spine piece that I'm going to put in later is it's just easier to move around than doing that with a whole journal with the spines on, especially when filming. Okay, now we're going to go back through this middle hole. Try to avoid going through this thread. Take that off now. Okay, we also need to make sure we have a thread on each side, otherwise it will just all come apart. Also, make sure you're actually attaching it to your spine. I've had to restart this because I didn't attach the spine. Put it quite tight. I'm going to hold that as tight as I can while I just go and check. It's tight on the other side. Making sure those threads are definitely secured in place. Might even put in a third knot if I can find where it is. There we go. We can trim that off. If you want to, you can just take this little bit, a bit of extra security, but it's not necessary. Okay, now it's going to start getting a little bit more tricky because now we have the signature to move. Put that out of the way. Find the middle. keep reminding you each time to make sure that you're on both sides of the string. It seems like a thing that you would just do automatically, but if you get at all distracted, sometimes you forget. At Christmas I did lots of little notebooks like this. Obviously I had 100 that I was making, so when I went to bind them all, I just sat in front of the telly. I thought, I'll just sit and bind them while I'm watching the telly, but obviously I wasn't paying attention. I didn't make sure the string was secure, and then went through and found that they were all coming apart. So I had to redo about half of them. So learn from the mistakes of others, learn from your own mistakes. It was a harsh way to learn, but I won't be doing it again. Okay. Off. Just double check that we've got all the pockets at the bottom. It wouldn't be the first time I put a signature in the wrong way. Yeah. So that's all at the bottom, that's all ready to go. It's nice and secure. I will go away and do the other side. Okay, so that is both of my signatures, or all three of the signatures both found in both spines. And now we can put these into our covers. These are going to go in like this. Find my glue. I might put a little bit of double-sided tape. Very carefully lay this down, try and get those spines to line up. Sideways so I can see. This is a slight disadvantage to having this kind of hidden spine effect. Is got to make sure you line it up right. Push it down. And I'm going to make sure that it still folds. Yep. So for this one, I'm going to bend it up the way. I don't know if you can see, I'm just trying to crease into that line so that it doesn't bunch up when I video taken, I can put some extra glue on there. And then we do the same on this side. Go in between each of the signatures. Going down this piece so we get the movement. Go in with a little bit of extra glue just along here while we pulled it up. Leave the bottoms secure. There we go. Next thing we need to work out is what we're going to do for a closure and how we're going to hinge the two pieces together. Like I say, you could just do one single notebook just like this, and it would look absolutely fine, but because this is based off the one in the film, which opens out like so. So we're going to hinge it here. Okay, so I have some of my colourful brads that I've got in different sizes. I was going to try and get something that was this colour, but because I've got pink and green, I could use these ones. I don't know if they would be long enough, they're really tiny ones. I would glue it in place as well, but I might go with that idea. Right, line up those edges. That might work. I'll glue it before I put the holes in place. Could maybe try hot glue, but I think that would just end up peeling off. This, I'm hoping, won't do that, but we'll also have the brad holding it in place. So between the two, get the right place in it. Right, I think I'm going to leave that to dry for a moment before I try punching the holes. Okay, so that's the glue almost dried now. I'm going to just punch some holes through with my awl. Yeah, another thing you could do if you can't get hold of little bads that are nice colours is just colour some. I can just use like a Sharpie or something. Okay, bring this back in. Just making sure my camera's still rolling. And I'm going to really carefully turn that over. Okay. Use my bone folder. I'm going to try and get that one still in place. Okay, so we're going to do a closure on this. I am going to put my closure around this side, so I'm going to put it on the back of this one and the back of this one. Although this is the front when it's upside down. So open it out. This is all dried on really well now, the hinge. I'm going to put it slightly sideways. There we go. I cut off quite a long length. I need to be able to wrap all the way round both of them. Let's see how kind of long we need it. Okay, so now we can put our back covers on, or inside covers. So, see if one fits slightly better than the other. There we go. I have a whole big box of stuff that I've made. So these are from Printables on my shop. There's a freebie that just has a selection of different sizes. And all I've simply done is just backed them onto some paper just to make little fold out journaling cards, all in different ways. Fold that way. Get the rest of those kinds of ones. Obviously I've done them for the different sizes. Different sides of the printer. These are the stamps. Again, these are printables in my shop. There's this big size and there's also a smaller size. Got one hiding anywhere. Yes, so that's the smaller size. You just have to go around and cut these little bits out. You could leave them, but... And again, I've just backed all of these onto some paper. So they're just like little journaling spots. Some more. They're just single ones. Rounded corners on some of them I've left. And these are the ones on the pink side, so again, just backed on paper. There's only one of the stamps I think on that one. Some little fold out pieces. These can all go and just be tucked into the pockets. Single one. And then I've also made some little tiny notebooks. I've just used one of my little ephemera pieces to put on the front. It's just got a couple of little pages in it. And that's using some of the same covering we had on the cover. And I just put little stars on the edge. Here's another one. This is also on my site. I've got like just a single printable page which has little sort of quotes and things on. And this one's just bound at the top. This has got some of the stamps on the front, and that's using some of the paper that you can also get on my shop. I just printed the paper double-sided. The slightly bigger one with some embossed paper, and just some washi tape down the edge. Okay, what are the other little notebooks? Okay, this one I've started putting some little things inside. This is a little pocket at the front with some extra ephemera. There. This is one using a cereal packet. So it's got like a clear front. Toss. And again, just another cute little notebook, just using up some scrap pieces. I'm going to try and tie that. This is a little tag shaped notebook. Just use my die cut machine, cut some card for the back, and cut all the little bits of paper in the same way. This is a little kind of trifold one. This was inspired by Natasha at Treasure Books. She did a series of trifolds, which I will try and link down below. This has got the gems in the kind of rainbow colours. I'm not sure why it's got a paper clip on the back. I think the paper clip was to put it into a page. and it's just got some little pockets, and I've just put some little bits of paper, some ribbon, a flower, and some of the ephemera pieces. Yeah, I think I put the paper clip on so it could clip onto the edge of a page or something. It's a slightly larger tag notebook. This is my own kind of handmade paper, just using the bottom parts of napkins. I'm just sticking a few of them together with a few little, I think the tea leaves that I put on it. And I just put a little bit of coffee into the glue to colour it. It's a really nice effect. Okay, then I have some bigger journaling cards. It's the same as the smaller ones, but this one was printed onto card. I've just put paper on the back. This is another one that I've just sewn around with a bit of paper on the back. This is on card. It's actually a watercolour card. Okay, this is a notebook. I printed out some of the A6 size ones and backed them together and printed them onto card with this on the back. And I even have music from Wicked. My husband is a musician. He did the panto at Christmas, and they did Defying Gravity as one of the songs. So he let me have all his music that he printed out. So I just tea dyed that, or onion dyed it. Can't remember. So I think that features somewhere else as well. Defying Gravity. And another little notebook, just using those images printed onto card. Yep, and that's the rest of Defying Gravity. Dade was one of the dwarfs, Snow White in the 70s. It was a whole joke. This is using a napkin, which I got at Halloween, I think, at the range. Which I thought was quite cute for the Glinda side. It's kind of witch, but it's also pink. That little notebook. These are the other Glinda ones again. Some journaling spots. This one just kind of opens out like an A4 piece. This is one that's just been sewn onto some paper. Quite a few of those, practicing with my sewing machine. Lots of those ones. That one's on card. Another little notebook, just the same thing. Those two pieces put side by side. Some pretty pages inside. Another notebook. And the last one, this has got a little tiny charm on the end. Again, just... Okay, I then also did these. So these are using cereal packets, which I've just sewn onto the back of one of the A6 pieces. These are printed onto, I think it was 120 GSM paper. So not just copy paper. And again, this one's actually got the cereal bag going all the way around, but this has just got a piece on the back. I did some loaded tags, and I've just loaded them with some of the sentiment pieces. These were just stickers that I bought. Got a little journaling card. I have a little die for cutting these out. get them all back in. Just one of the stamps on there as well, some other little pieces. So again, it's one of the stickers that I bought. Just have a little envelope. I think I made with a die, but I think it's one that my daughter got me from Amazon. Doesn't seem to work great. There's a little sentiment piece, a sticker, just some little pieces of paper. Everything's back in. And again, just some little ephemera pieces. This is a die that I got. And that's just backed onto some book page. I also made some hidden paper clips. Again, just using the little ephemera pieces as much as possible. I'll just stick on there. This is a hidden paper clip with pockets, so it's loaded up with loads of things. This is a side pocket, and this is just using a piece left over from the original journal I made for my granddaughter. That's the kind of brown. Another one, this is really simply made, just two pieces of the small ephemera pieces, rounded corners, and it's just backed onto a little paper inside. And this is just one using just some little die cuts. Again, hidden paper clip. I'll maybe I need to make some more for the Glinda side, so I'll make some more. This is a little envelope I just made with my sewing machine, practicing doing ruffles, a little flower on it. And again, I've just put in lots of little ephemera pieces and a piece of paper in there, and I just inked on the book page. It was dyed, I think, with red onion skin dye, and then I've just gone through and just stamped some images all over it and inked up the edges, ripped all the edges, and another little tiny envelope with a couple of stamps inside. I think that's all the ephemera I've made so far, and I will make some more on camera. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. This is the finished book, as you can see. I will give you a quick flip through all of the pages. I have to do this on the side just because it's so big. And here we have all of our pieces. I'll do it completely sideways. You can look at my other walkthrough video, which is of the journal that I made for my granddaughter. It's a little bit different from this one, but the basis of it is exactly the same. Please like and subscribe this video if you're able to, that would be so great. Check out all the other videos for ABC April, particularly check out Seven Plaza and Crafted by Tony. They do some really, really good videos, they're so inspiring. Thank you so much, ladies, for doing this challenge for April. It's been really great fun, and it's really driven me to actually get this journal finished. I've been filming little sections of it for about 4 years. 4 months. It feels like 4 years. So it's now finally done, and I can move on to the next challenge. Thank you so much. I will see you in my next video. Bye.